Well, good morning. Um, how's everybody doing out there in video watching land? Um, I just want to make this little video this morning that that proves that you don't need a driver's license or a or license plates or anything like that to drive or to travel in an automobile. So the way they like to do it is they like to use funny words and shit. So, okay, say an officer says, "Where are you driving to, sir?" And you say, "Well, I'm driving to this place," or whatever. As soon as you say you're driving, you're admitting to engaging in commercial activity. The reason it's commercial activity is because you're in a motor vehicle that's got license plates on it. If you got license plates, it's considered a motor vehicle because you pledged it to the state and you've asked them to come in and say, "Hey, help me," you know, just like hiring a lawyer. You're not competent enough to handle your own matters. Same thing goes for your vehicle. When you register with the state, you're telling the state that it's not a personal private vehicle, but it's that you're going to use it to engage in commerce. And they don't tell you that shit, man, which is fucked up because, you know, they say that we're the ones that are doing wrong by not abiding by the law, speeding and all this other shit, not wearing our seatbelt, not having driver's licenses and all this other crap. But it's a lie, you know. We're in the freaking matrix, literally. We're in a system of lies and deceit that basically trick us into having to pay money that we work hard for, you know. So what does that tell you? If you admit to being a United States citizen under the 14th Amendment, then you're admitting to being a subject of a higher power, which is, you know, a citizen is a subject. And what's a subject? A subject is an indentured servant, or not necessarily an indentured servant, but lower than the queen. And legally, on paper, the corporation that is the United States of America Incorporated is owned by the Crown Company of England. It's the Queen of England or whatever. That's not one I want to get into right now. But basically, we're still under British rule. We were out of British rule for a while, but in 1867 when they introduced the other Constitution and all that other shit, or it might have been before that. Who knows, man? Who knows how long they've been here and planning all this shit. But it's been, you know, what, 150, 160 some years since all this started, you know, coming into play, and they just rolled with it, you know, and expect us just to believe it, which we do. We believe it. And it's our own fault, you know. Just like when I got pulled over a couple weeks ago. It's my own fault for going to jail because I admitted to driving in my father's vehicle and it had plates on it. I knew I should take the plates off. I usually take the plates off when I leave. But anyway, when you register your motor vehicle with the DMV, it's no longer private property and considered to be a consumer good or household good. But it is now a business good used for commercial purposes. And it can be regulated by the state or the DMV. And they can regulate all business goods and commercial activity through its police powers. In other words, they can use their policy enforcers to regulate commerce within the state. That's the only laws that can be made by the state, is that or those that ease commerce within the state. So the public sector is regulated by the state government, and it's based on statutory laws or fictitious or quasi-laws, which basically has the meaning it looks like law, it sounds like law, but in reality it's not. The law pertains to constitutional and common law, whereas statutory law or statutes pertain to codes and ordinances and regulations and shit, man. So break free of the matrix. Hop out. Come chill with me. You know, I got a lot of information. I'll help you learn whatever you need to learn. If that's something that you want to do, You know, if not something that you want to do, I ain't hating on you. You know what I'm saying? It's your choice. But it's also my choice to not have to deal with the bullshit. Just as it is yours. You have the choice. You have free will. And you have rights that are inherently granted to you by your Creator. Which, in my opinion, is God. God is my Creator. He gave me certain inalienable rights that they can't take from me. So, if you outright own your car, it's private property. You have a constitutional right to acquire, possess, and protect your private property. All men are by nature free and independent, and have certain inalienable rights, among which are among which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness, according to the Constitution. What else? Some case law. When the public citizens or residents register their vehicle or their cars with the DMV, the status of their car changes from car or automobile, which is a consumer good, to that of a motor vehicle. It changes to a motor vehicle. An automobile is a car or motor transportation used for pleasure purposes, whereas a motor vehicle is used for commercial purpose or business purposes. And it says that there is a legal difference and that the law is very precise and technical. You know, that's why it's so hard to figure this shit out, because they put it right in your face, but they jumble it all up. So, Thompson versus Smith, and Tech Lines versus Danforth, Mississippi. The right of a citizen to drive on a public street with freedom from police interference is a fundamental constitutional right. Citizens have a right to drive upon the public streets of the District of Columbia or any other city absent constitutionally sound reason for limiting their access. In other words, I got the right to drive and do what the hell I want to do unless there's a constitutionally sound reason to limit my access to drive. In other words, driver's license are illegal according to the Constitution. Matter of fact, over 6 times the 14th Circuit Court of Appeals in Texas has ruled that there is no such thing as a driver's license known to law. How can the freaking 14th Circuit Court of Appeals have rulings over 6 different in times that there's no such thing known to law as a driver's license? Because it's not law. It comes from a private corporation called the United States of America. It's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy. But, that's how it is. It's just... we just gotta learn to assert our rights, man. That's all. If that's something you want to do. You're not required to. You're not required to assert your rights. You're not required to not assert your rights. You're required to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Right? A motor vehicle. The term motor vehicle means every description of carriage or other contrivance propelled or drawn by mechanical power and used for commercial purposes on a highway. So if you use the term motor vehicle or vehicle, you're saying that that vehicle is used for commercial purposes. It's ridiculous. I just can't believe it. The Supreme Court in Arthur versus Morgan held that carriages were properly classified as household effects and that they see no reason that automobiles should not be similarly disposed of. A citizen has the right to travel upon, this is Hillhouse versus United States. A citizen has the right to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property therein, or thereon. And that's a ruling by the Supreme Court, dude. Come on, man. Use of the highways for the purpose of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, but a common and fundamental right of which the public and the individual cannot be fully or rightfully deprived of. Yeah, rightfully deprived. And then Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago. What did I say? The right of a citizen to travel upon the freeway or a highway to transport his property in the ordinary course of life and business is the usual and ordinary right of the citizen, a right common to all. And it makes sense to me, dude. It makes perfect sense to me. Oh, this is another good one. Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham. The Birmingham court, Birmingham, Alabama. Well, the court ruled that with regard to particularly to the U.S. Constitution, it is elementary that a right secured or protected by that document cannot be overthrown or impaired by any state police authority. So, in other words, the cops can't pull you over if it's unconstitutional. Your right to travel, it says your right to travel is so fundamental that it appears in the Articles of Confederation, which governed our society before the Constitution. Articles of Confederation were written like in 17 some shit. They're old, but that was a fundamental right from the get-go, off the get. These dudes are tripping, man. These dudes are tripping. I ain't tripping. The dudes are tripping. The cops and the lawyers and all that other shit, they tripping, man. Tripping. Somebody got to put them in their place, man. Somebody got to hold them accountable. And, nobody else out there doing it. Why can't I do it? Why can't I attempt to hold an officer accountable if he's doing wrong? Which, when they pull you over and try to give you a ticket, they're doing wrong. They're committing crime. I mean, if you read the law and you can understand it, there's no way around that. They walk up to your car and say, you're committing a crime by speeding or running a red light or whatever. But if you're not required to follow that statute, then how are you committing a crime? They're actually lying to you and giving you false information. And then if they write you a ticket or attempt to hold you to an agreement or threaten you with jail time because you don't want to sign a ticket or because you don't want to give your ID or driver's license or you don't want to give your name, then they are in violation of your constitutional rights, which is law and is lawfully wrong. So, to those who like to argue and say, just pay the ticket, just, blah, 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 fuck that. Just don't pull me over. And that's all I got to say. Just don't pull me over. You see no license plates on my car? You don't pull me over, bro. You're going to get an earful. You're going to get a document. It's going to say, sir, you're in violation of my natural rights. And you can be held personally liable, which they can. If they violate your rights, you have remedy and recourse, man. Recourse under the law states that you can have monetary compensation for your damage under the law. If the law damages you, which, in my opinion, if you're going to hold me for even 10 minutes on the side of the road, you're damaging my ability to, freely travel unimpeded, which is a constitutional right that I have, that you try to say I don't have. Come on, bro. I ain't playing this shit no more, man. No. I just can't. I just can't, man. And, Houston's a big city. There's a lot of cops, a lot of corrupt and crooked motherfuckers, man. So I gotta be extra careful. It's like, it's no better than Los Angeles or Chicago, There's some bad people out there. They don't give a shit about you or your rights. They just want to make that extra check, or extra, they don't be fooled. They do have quotas. They are required to get certain amount of DUI arrests per year. I have a DPS inter-office memorandum that got out somehow, but it's an actual form that was but sent out inter-office to DPS agents, telling them they have to get at least 2 DUIs per year. if they can get 2 DUIs per year, then a performance year, whatever, then they get good ratings on their end of the year performance review, and good ratings means, you know, promotions, more money, you know, and it's that greed, man. That greed, I don't get you. But, you know, like I say, you're not required to do anything that they tell you to do, man. Just fucking know your rights and assert your shit, dude. Know your rights and assert your shit. And tell them dudes to fuck off, man. Fuck off, dude. You have no reason, no right to pull me over, blah, 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 whatever. Or just don't, man. And you know, keep living your life the way you want to live it. If you're happy, stay happy, man. But I'll tell you what, I'm not happy. I'm not getting pulled over and getting ticketed for shit that I'm not required to follow. You know, for rules that I'm not required to follow. Come on, man. You just can't. You can tell some people that, but not everybody. Not everybody's gonna just, you know, stay in the matrix. Especially me. I mean, I might go in there from time to time just to fuck around, but I don't want to live there. I want to be free to do what I want to do, and not be bound by the color of law. Yeah, I know. You're thinking I'm a weird. This guy's a weirdo. What is he talking about? Trust me. Go look it up and do your research, man. I ain't gonna do the research for you. I mean, I've done my research here, and I'm gonna put it on the internet or whatever. But don't trust me, man. Don't believe me. I could be full of shit, which I'm not. But I don't trust what I see on the internet. I'll go and try to prove it wrong. If I can't prove it wrong, and actually, to the contrary, find evidence to prove it right, how can I not want to, you know, assert a right that I have? I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. But you take it and run with it and do what you like with it. It's free information. You know, a lot of people like to charge us for this kind of information, man. They'll they'll put a little price tag on it and say, oh, you join our website and we'll do this for you, we'll do that. No, don't do that shit, man. Don't do it. Do everything yourself. I don't sign a fucking damn thing unless I write it. I've been getting pretty good at making legal documents. Check this out. I've got a... Where's my traffic notices? Traffic stop forms. Oh, I got a whole freaking thing full of traffic stop forms here. I've got an officer. They have, you know, they'll have to fill this out if they want to give me a ticket. And this is actually, no, this is one I fill out. Yeah, asking them his name, the date, the time of the traffic stop, location. For the record, may I get your name and badge number, please, sir? The officer's name, badge ID. Is that recording device, the recording he has on him? They all have to have those body cameras now. Is that recording device comprised of both audio and video, sir? Are you relatively certain that your recording equipment is functioning properly for the purposes of making this recording, sir? And, I mean, it goes on. There's like 3 pages of shit. Not all asking questions, but, you know, stating laws and shit. And you start writing forms on cop, they're gonna what? I got a gun. Shut up. I mean, come on. They can't do shit, dude. They can't do shit. You just gotta, you know, just gotta be able to assert your rights, bro. That's all there's to it. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, bro. Anyway. There are people that would say that I'm not patriotic and that I'm trying to go against the laws and shit like that. You know, I got one thing to say about that. Prove it wrong. Prove the shit wrong. I bet you can. I bet you can. I bet you can. I can. I haven't been able to prove it wrong yet. Matter of fact, I've been able to prove it right, so. Or prove it to be true. Anyway. I'm just gonna go hop in the shower. Make me a little breakfast. Probably read some more case law. Who knows? Who knows what my day's gonna be filled with. But it's gonna be fun nonetheless. It's just a game. Let's learn how to play it. That's it. Peace.